Welcome to this week's Patriots Insider. Straight ahead, we'll talk to women's basketball head coach Debbie Taneyhill about this week's women's CAA tournament. We'll also take a look at the week in sports. So stay tuned. The Patriots Insider is next. Welcome to the Patriots Insider. Women's head coach Debbie Taneyhill with us as the Patriots get set for the CAA tournament coming up. And Coach, it's been a good second half of the season for you. You've won 5 of your last 6, 7 of your last 10. The Patriots finished 16-13 overall and 10-8 in the conference. Talk about some of the keys the second half of the season. I know you lost Laura Coy and some people really had to step it up. Yeah, I think it definitely took us a while to adjust to her lack of presence on the floor. Jen Dev had to assume more of a scoring role for us. Shelby Lynn McBride had to become more of a perimeter threat, and Vanessa Nemo as well had to really become more consistent. And I think those 3 people especially really have turned it on and played very, very well for us in the big games, the last 10 games of our season. And we're glad to finish strong. With everybody coming back, I think it's real important to go out on a strong, confident note and build on that for next year. Talk about the last couple of games at home, a win over VCU, and they were on a hot streak. You stopped them, Clark and Nemo, with big games, and also you pick up a win over UNC Wilmington. Talk about, and you did mention some names, but some of the keys for this weekend coming into the tournament, some of the players who are going to have to do their jobs. Well, again, I think it will start with Jen Dev. You know, we need to really kind of be energized by her offensively and defensively. We need her to have a scorer's mentality. She, along with Nemo, are kind of our 1-2 punch. Shelby Lynn picks up a lot of we call it junk plays because she's always around the ball. She has some great instincts. She's become a much better 3-point shooter as the season has progressed. Those 2 people will definitely be our keys. And then we also need to get quality minutes from somebody in the paint, whether it's Khalil Smith or Keika or Chambers or Osado. You know, a couple of those kids have to play well. And I think if Lynette Clark can continue to play as she has, giving us some very strong minutes, backing up Dev at the point, sometimes letting Dev move to that 2-guard position, I think we'll be in good shape. And that was an experiment, moving Dev to the 2 in the VCU game, I believe? Yeah, we actually did it at James Madison a little bit. And those 3 teams, James Madison, VCU, and Wilmington, having beaten us the first time, you know, we were glad to come back and get them the second time through. And I think a lot of it was because we got some better play from people other than Dev and Nemo. And putting Dev at the 2, it kind of gives her a break. It's tough to bring the ball up the floor with pressure on you the whole time and then have to get rid of it, get it back, and score. So if we can give her a little bit of a rest and run her off a screen or give her the ball after she's had a second or 2 to relax, I think she's much more of a threat. We're going to talk about James Madison in a moment. Let me ask you about your finish this year. Tied for 4th. You were projected to finish 3rd in the preseason, and no doubt you sit down with the schedule and you probably estimate how many wins, how many losses. Are you where you thought you would be? Well, I think we underestimated the transition that we would have with our young kids. We started out this season, we didn't have Keika and Osada, 2 of our post players, and then we lost Laura midway through. And through those personnel changes, we're also asking people to have completely different roles than they had last year. Even though we had a lot of people returning from last year's team, we lost 3 kids, 3 seniors, and Monica Williams, who are kind of our glue. And that leadership, I think, cannot be underestimated in the importance that it gives your team. And I think it just took us a month or 2 to sort of fit into those new roles comfortably and have everybody understand what their contribution has to be for us to be successful. So we move on to the CAA tournament, and it's James Madison and you going up in the 4 versus 5. Talk about that matchup a little bit. They're certainly tough, and if you get past them, it doesn't get any easier. Right. And James Madison was predicted to finish 2nd in the conference. They have 3 seniors and 2 juniors that start for them. Last season, they went into the WNIT and went to the semifinal round, so they're a very experienced team. At the same time, our kids like to play James Madison. It's always a great rivalry game for us.
We had some great games against them last season. Both games this year have been very exciting, and I know that our kids will be ready. The fact that they eliminated us last year in the CAA tournament on Shannon Price's three-point shot at the buzzer, I think will maybe give us some extra incentive to go down there and play well.
Certainly some more incentive was last year's WNIT appearance. Let's talk about the postseason a little bit more. The NCAA tournament, the WNIT, and the chance for more than one team from the conference getting into either of the tournaments.
Well, I think Old Dominion is a lock regardless of what they do over the next 4 days. They're in the NCAA tournament. I think if Delaware, with coming in with 20 wins, 21 wins, if they can pick up 1 or 2 and find themselves in the championship game, I think they have to be considered for an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament. They played in the NCAA tournament last year. I think that helps your appearance in the eyes of the committee. So I'm very, very hopeful that we could get 2 in this year. I think that ourselves and James Madison and VCU played outstanding non-conference schedules, but I don't think we have enough wins unless we can somehow get to that championship game to be considered for a possible NIT berth.
Was last year a surprise to be in the WNIT or no?
No, you know, we felt like with 21 wins and some quality non-conference wins that we were deserving of some strong consideration. I think had we made the championship game, it would have been less of a surprise. We thought that, you know, there may have been some upsets going on with the James Madison loss, but we expected to be somewhere.
All right, well, we'll get set for the CAA tournament. George Mason and James Madison. That's the first round matchup, and then keep our fingers crossed for the WNIT. Head coach Debbie Taneyhill. Good luck, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.